Okay, let's see here. Today in 2022, video game development is taking longer than ever. So I'm going to prove the big studios wrong and make a game in just 1 hour. If you don't know me, my name is Camden. I've been dabbling in programming and game development for about 3 years, so keep an eye on me and this channel for more stuff like this. First, some housekeeping. Today I'm going to be using the game engine Unity. If you expect me to do this from scratch, I'm sorry. I'm going to go ahead and make the project. I'm going to select 2D and then I'll title it 1 hour game. But it won't let me do that because I already made the project. I actually did this for a couple reasons. I wanted to add a few audio files in the game as well as a utility script for playing these sounds. I could have written this during the 1 hour, but it would have just been me pulling this exact script up on another monitor and copying it line by line. So I just went ahead and threw it in here. I also went ahead and threw in some music and sound effects. The music I downloaded from the YouTube audio library and the effects come from freesound.org. I actually meant to also add a file for art in here, but I forgot to do that, so the art's going to look a little bit worse. Looks like the timer's already going, so while that's happening, I can tell you about the game that I'm making. Basically, we're making a high score game where you click on this ball. Whenever you click on the ball, it'll be thrown into the air. There will also be walls and a ceiling, which the ball can bounce off of, and there are 2 ways to lose. You can fail to click the ball and it will explode at the bottom of the screen, or you can hit a laser that will spawn at random heights and try to explode your ball. And that is ball bounce. Now, I figure you're on the edge of your seat wondering how on earth I'm going to complete such a daunting task in an hour, so let's check in and see how we are doing. At the 5-minute mark, I've made a ball and I've allowed it to be affected by gravity. This entire game is going to be on the shoulders of Unity's 2D physics system, so I've attached a rigid body and a circle collider to the ball so that it can interact and collide with other triggers and physics objects. The next thing on the agenda is input. In each update loop, I'm calling the function handleMouseInput, which checks if the primary mouse button has been clicked, and if it has, fires a raycast from the mouse position to check if the mouse is over the ball. But I actually am not checking for the ball's collider. In order to give a little bit of wiggle room for the mouse position, I made a child object to the ball that has a slightly larger collider, and this collider is on its own physics layer and is only used for catching the input of the mouse. Alternatively, I could have just compared the distance of the mouse position to the center of the ball and not had to mess with the child object or physics layer. But hey, I mean, one architectural oversight in the first 10 minutes is pretty good. At almost 15 minutes in, we've made it to our first playtest. Whenever I determined that you clicked the ball's hitbox, I added an upwards force to the rigid body, and I also checked the distance of where you clicked compared to the center of the ball to apply a horizontal force. I also realized I needed to zero the Y velocity of the ball before adding these forces in order to get a consistent bounce each time. Since the gameplay can now rival that of the AAA giants, I started diving into level design. I thought long and hard about the emotions I wanted the environment to invoke onto the player, and what I settled with was 2 walls and a roof. The floor was meant to be one of the ways that you could die, and I honestly meant to put some type of visual representation there, but for some reason I just put an invisible collider and never thought about it again. Now I have to address my 2 basic complaints with Unity. First, I'm a huge fan of the color blue, but even I think the default 2D background color is disgusting. And secondly, it's absurd that I have to install a package to have usable text rendering in Unity. Even in a time crunch, I won't force myself to use the default text renderer, but I had to start doing some type of UI because I had almost fully implemented a death state and needed to show a game over screen. So far, things are going pretty good. At 21 minutes, I basically have a game. The score isn't hooked up yet, but that's pretty simple. I just have an integer for the score, and every time you click the ball, I add 1 and update the UI. I wasn't originally planning to do this, but while I was writing out the score system, I had an idea. Basically, whenever I update the score, I check the current score and see if it's divisible by 10, and if it is, then I increase the X multiplier, which is a variable that affects how much horizontal force is added to the ball with each bounce. This will add a little bit more challenge the longer that you survive, and I thought it seemed pretty fun. I think now is as good a time of any to say thank you. You watching this video is something I really appreciate. I have wanted to make game dev videos for the past year, but always came up with arbitrary excuses on why I shouldn't. It feels really good to be able to throw these worries away and jump headfirst into something that excites me. Okay, now I need to add lasers. Up until this point, I've been making really good time. I had over half an hour to get the lasers and sound done. I even started to have ambitious thoughts of making this game even better than initially intended, but then I started to kind of run out of steam. I definitely overcomplicated the heck out of my laser system. I had a laser parent that held a warning laser and the actual laser. Both of these objects were essentially the same thing, but they had different animations, and the death laser included a box collider to trigger a game over. It probably would have been simpler just to have one laser and do it all in animations because I was already dealing with the animation system in the first place. This also might be a good time to address the wet pasta that my code has turned into. Rushing to finish this game in just an hour gave me no time to actually employ any decent practices. Function and variable names are horrendous. As soon as I stopped for a second to think of a good name for something, I knew I was just wasting time, so my code quickly devolved into having things like referring to the ball bouncing as a jump or the mess of timer variables. I don't think I did the worst job given the scenario, but it was enough to trip me up a few times and probably waste more time than it would have if I just gave proper names in the first place. There are also just 3 scripts in this game: a ball controller that holds pretty much everything, that's the input logic, physics logic, and the laser spawning. There's also a laser manager that just has timers that handle showing either the warning laser or the death laser. Then there's the previously mentioned audio manager. If you're curious about this one, it's just a slight adaptation of the audio manager that Bracky shows in this video. The main addition that I made was adding sound groups, which are just a collection of audio that's under one tag. This is meant to play random audio from that collection whenever you call the play function. In the example of this game, I have the wall bounces as a sound group so that whenever you hit a wall, a slightly different sound will play. I included the script in this video description if you're interested in checking it out. After fiddling for about 20 minutes with timings and animations, the lasers are done. What I have is an initial timer of 7 seconds before a laser will spawn. After that, the timer will drop to 5 seconds between lasers spawning, and every spawn there's a 40% chance that the timer gets decreased by 0.2 seconds. I also included a base spawn rate so that the rate can't go below 3 seconds. Also, it's not super accurate for me to be saying I'm spawning the lasers. There's actually only one laser, and every time that it spawned, I just set the parent's game object to be active and change its position with a random height within a range that I set. Then the laser manager script handles showing the warning laser, then the death laser once enabled, and it will turn itself inactive once that timer ends. I think it's a decent implementation given the rush, but could definitely be a lot better, and I think having multiple lasers could be fun and not completely unfair with a little bit of tweaking. With the last 10 minutes, I was rushing and trying to tie up all the loose ends. I had to actually hook up the audio with everything, and this wasn't even that hard, but seeing that timer get close to 0 added so much stress, and I swear my keyboard shrank by at least 75%. Then, with a little over a minute left, I realized I didn't have any type of visual for the ball being destroyed when you lose, so it would just continue to fall off the screen and looked pretty bad. In a desperate move, I mashed my keyboard until I made it to the asset store and searched for explosions and downloaded this 2D pack as quick as possible. I had 30 seconds remaining and I was doing everything I could to throw the explosions into the game. The timer was ticking down. I was typing at a nervous 20 words per minute, and I could hear the sweat dropping onto the pleather of my gaming chair. Then it was over. The timer hit 0. Did I do it? Did I prove the big studios wrong? I'm sad to report that Ball Bounce will not be hitting its initial target of releasing at 11:28 p.m. on September 24th, 2022. Due to hiring subpar developers, we have decided to delay the game until 11:30 p.m. on September 24th, 2022. I want to make it crystal clear that this is not the fault of any of our management staff. The failure purely lies on the shoulders of our many unskilled developer. We hope that you can forgive us and continue to pre-order our future games. 10 seconds after the timer hit 0, I was able to finish fitting the explosion into my codebase, and just had to hook up the prefab, and the game was actually done. So this is the game. All in all, even though technically I went slightly over my time, I'm really happy with how this turned out. Obviously, I could have done things a lot better, but this turned out to be a pretty enjoyable little game, and it was a fun journey figuring out how to do it in such a short amount of time. At the top of the description, I'll have a link to itch.io where you can play Ball Bounce. I did take a few minutes to check on a basic menu and some sound settings in case you didn't want your ears blasted off by the laser effect. With all that being said, thanks for watching, let me know what you think of this challenge and keep an eye out for what I have planned next.